guys, so I am now 31 weeks pregnant and I just can't believe how fast it's going by. Knowing that I'm going to meet her in 2 months just really blows my mind. It's crazy. But anywho, I didn't do a 30-week update because we were in the middle of traveling, and even if I would have had time to film it, I wouldn't have time to edit it and upload it. So now we're mushing them together, which kind of breaks my heart because I wanted to have a solo video on my 30th week. Every time I reach a milestone, I just something happens and I can't do it. So we'll see if I make it to 40 weeks and I can do a video then. But yeah, so I'm 31 weeks, and a few things that if you didn't know, me and Garrett have done quite a lot of traveling the past 2 weeks. We took a plane to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and spent a weekend there for work, and then we drove to Dallas and spent a weekend there for work. So that was a lot on my body, and it was very interesting. So I guess I'll start off with what happened in Fort Lauderdale. We left Baton Rouge at 4, got to Houston like at 5:30, and then that flight got delayed a few hours, and anyways we ended up getting in Fort Lauderdale at 1 in the morning. And that was really hard because like the first part of the trip was great. I mean, that morning I shouldn't have spent all day cleaning because Garrett's mom came and stayed and watched the dogs. Him and his aunt, or her and her aunt, his mother and his aunt came to house sit and watch the dogs. Because a lot of you don't really know what's going on with Django. I've had him for so long. I need to do an updated video on him. But he has Demodex, which is a type of mange that gets really, really bad. It's not fatal or anything. It's not contagious. It just sticks with the dog for the duration of their life. And it's just, if he gets any ounce of stress, then his skin freaks out and breaks out again, and we have to go through a whole nother round of treatment, which he's constantly on some medicine. But anyways, that's all. I'll do another separate video on that, maybe on my vlog channel, talking about that, which is linked below if you want to check it out. So we got to Fort Lauderdale at 1 in the morning, and then we got to our hotel at like 2 in the morning, or no, 1:30 in the morning, and none of the vending machines worked. I had to take my prenatal pill and my iron pill at night, and I have to take with milk or I get really sick and heartburn, and I need to have milk around, so throughout the night I'm not popping 100 Pepsids. I just need to take 1 Pepsid a night, and then anytime like it gets really bad, I'll like slowly drink some milk and it'll calm it down and make it stop. So yes, we finally got, the guy behind the counter gave us water at like 2 in the morning. Like they had water in the back, so I didn't do so great, but it was better than trying to, you know, either missing a day. But so it was really stressful on Garrett too, because he had to get up and go to a class. We probably went to bed about 3 or 3:30, and we woke up at 6 to eat breakfast because he had to go to his class early. And so yeah, I got like 2 hours of sleep, and we were on the first floor too, and the room that we had didn't have like thick like blackout curtains. They just had like the sheer ones, and so I tried to close those. I turned off all the lights and stuff, but people, like when they walked by, it was like kind of in a busy area, so like their shoulders like almost brushing up against my window, and you could hear people talking. So I couldn't sleep. So I pretty much didn't sleep the whole 3 days that we were there. And then that kind of started, also when we got there that night, I had gotten sick. I threw up that night a few times, and yeah, so that was just fun times for everybody. But that trip was just stressful, getting there so late, me throwing up and stuff, not having the right things that I needed to make me feel better, because there are certain things I need to make me feel better. Everything was closed. And so anyways, the 2 days go by, and the third day we were leaving, and I had to check out at 11:30, and Garrett didn't get done until 6. And so I was sitting in the lobby, then outside all day waiting for him. So that didn't do anything for my feet or my hands. They were really swollen for a very long time, and then I was about to do 2 planes and get back home at 1 in the morning. So that was really stressful because the cab driver got there, and we told him to get there as soon as he could, and he was like weaving and flinging around everything. And through all this time at the hotel, my baby didn't really, like, she didn't move really at all while we were in the hotel. Like, I was so used to her like jumping around and stuff, but she wasn't doing any of that. If you don't hear Django in the background. But it kind of worried me, but I knew because I hadn't gotten any sleep and I was sick that it was probably affecting her. So I was trying to drink plenty of fluids. Anyway, she still didn't move for a while. And so the cab driver gets us to the airport at 7 o'clock. We board our flight at 7:09 and we're like, oh my gosh. So it's an international airport too. So I'm sitting here thinking we're gonna have to like zoom, like we're not gonna make it. I just knew we weren't gonna make it. I'd broken out into two before Garrett even got there. I was just so sad because everything was booked and we weren't gonna be able to get a flight out till later the next day. And so anyways, we're sitting there, we go through security, we're sitting there like, oh my gosh, we have like 6 more minutes, 4 more minutes, and like people are going so slow in front of us and it's driving us crazy. And so we finally get through security and we sprint. It's 7:08 and we're like, oh my gosh, they're gonna leave us. So we're sprinting through the hotel and that was really hard on my body. I was trying to hold my stomach and my bags at the same time, and yeah, I shouldn't have ran. I should have let Garrett go ahead and hold the airplane. But anyways, we made it right as they're saying, okay, so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so, like our name's in this other lady's name, we're canceling your ticket. And we're like, no! So we sprint even faster and we zoom in and we get there. And so right before they're about to close the plane, we get there. And so I get on the plane, shoes still are off. Like Garrett doesn't have his belt on, his shoes on. My shoes are off too. And all of our stuff is in our hands. And it was so stressful and frustrating and crazy. I started getting Braxton Hicks contractions whenever I got in the plane. I was like, no, I stressed myself out so much and worked myself up so much. I'm going to give birth to this baby on this plane. It was just not a good situation. And I was really a nervous wreck. But yes. So after the flight, like the whole time me and Garrett kept saying, cannot believe we made this flight. I cannot believe we made this flight. So yeah, through rush hour traffic, we were 30 minutes from our plane taking off at our hotel, and it took the whole time to get there. It was just, guys, do not put yourself through that stressful situation, especially when you're in your 3rd trimester. So I won't do that next time if there is a next time, but it was an experience and we made it. But then we got into Charlotte, North Carolina, and there was really bad weather, so it kept getting delayed, our flight. But the thing is too, like whenever you're getting on a flight to go back to Baton Rouge or like any city in Louisiana, I don't know if it's like this where everybody lives, but everybody talks. Everybody is just chatting it up like, oh yeah, you know, I'm from this part of the state, this part of the state, this part of the state. They want to talk to you and like get to know you. And that's one thing about Louisiana I really love, is that people are so like open to conversation and stuff. With perfect strangers, because like, oh, we're all going to Baton Rouge, so we're all you know, like family. So that was cool, but we got delayed like 2 hours there. First they couldn't find the pilot, or no, they couldn't find the stewardess, was missing, and then they boarded the priority people, our priority members, and they made everybody get off because they had a flat tire, so we had to wait another hour. So we didn't get back in town till 1 in the morning, or 1:30. So, and then we didn't get home till 2 in the morning. So all this has been really hard on Garrett too, because he had to, as soon as he got in town from taking all these classes and this stressful trip, he had to go to work. And I work from home. I have a job that I do in the morning, then I do YouTube whenever I can. So I feel for him. I was able to take naps-ish, at least sit in bed and like relax, and he wasn't able to do that. So we were in town for 3 days till we took off again, and I spent that time, first day sleeping because my hands and feet would not go down, the swelling. It was so crazy. I was just so tired and my body hurt so bad. It was interesting, but I didn't throw up anymore. And then so we finally Wednesday night, we got back in town Monday morning, and we left Wednesday night to head to Dallas. And we drove halfway to Shreveport, and the next day we drove the other half. And so it was so relaxing. And so driving there was good. We were able to have a day to hang out together instead of getting there at midnight or 2 in the morning and Garrett having to get up in 3 hours and go straight to a class. So it was kind of like a little trip. I was able to mark some things off my bucket list. I'm so excited. So you guys should go follow me on Instagram, because It has a few pictures from Dallas. I got to go to IKEA, never been there, and we got to go to In-N-Out Burger, never been there before too. And we ended up eating there twice. So those are, well, IKEA was my bucket list and In-N-Out was both of ours, so it was really nice. And while we were there, we were really high up and our hotel had room service, and we're also really close to Garrett's place. So the last, in Fort Lauderdale, Garrett couldn't come home for lunch or come back to the room for lunch. He was too far away. But this one, he was like 10 minutes away from the hotel, so he would come home, I'd order room service, and we'd have like a little meal together. We'd have breakfast, lunch, and dinner together. So it made it so much more relaxing because I was able to like sleep in the morning if I needed to, and then I could work in the afternoon for my day job or however I needed to play it. It was like being at home, and I really enjoyed that part of it. Now on the way back, I did get sick. I started getting to where like food isn't going down like through the past 2 trips, which also me being able to relax in Dallas and we were able to like do more stuff together, I guess put my mind at ease, and the baby started kicking a lot, like a lot. On the way back, we did the same thing. We drove to Shreveport, stayed, and then woke up early the next morning to come to Baton Rouge. Everything was great, but the only other thing too that was really stressful is while we were there, Garrett's grandpa got in an accident, and so Garrett's mom was house sitting our house, and they had like all these plans, like Garrett's dad was going to come down, Garrett's aunt and uncle on his dad's side were going to come down. They were going to just hang out and be at the house and be with the dogs, but plans changed and Garrett's brother was able to come down, so we're really grateful that he was able to come down and watch the puppies and all that. So that was stressful, but we made it home, and he's doing fine, by the way. He's doing really well, actually. And so yeah, other than that, the baby has been moving a lot. I've been slowly trying to clean and get stuff ready. I'm not putting too much stress on my body to get that done. I'm just trying my best not to put any stress on me or the baby, because after those 2 weeks were really crazy, and I just want her to relax, because I know Fort Lauderdale took a toll on me, and it definitely took a toll on her since she stopped moving. And yeah, so I went to my doctor today and I told her all my symptoms that I had. She assured me everything was fine. She said I was having carpal tunnel issues. She asked me if I was having carpal tunnel problems, and I was like, explain, like what do you mean, what things do you look out for? She's like, well, when you wake up, do your hands, are they numb a lot? I was like, yes, this hand right here is, well, both of them usually are really numb, but this one, if you've been following me the whole time, you know that I have a ganglion cyst on my nerve right here. I was actually going to get surgery on it. They found I was pregnant and I couldn't get the surgery done, or I found I was pregnant, so we weren't able to do the surgery, and it's acting up so bad where I can't even like bend my wrist, like as far as I can bend it backwards. Normally I can do like this and this. Anyways, so this hand has been going completely numb, so I've been having that. My hands swell as soon as I walk outside, which is interesting. My feet, they swell, I mean, pretty much all the time. I'm used to them just being fat and swollen. But let's see what else I told her. One thing that if I sleep really good throughout the night, like I don't wake up like more than 2 or 3 times with heartburn. Like a good night's sleep, let me just clarify. A good night's sleep to me is if I only wake up 1 or 2 times with heartburn, and I only get up 2 times to go to the bathroom, and I go right to sleep. That is whenever I have the perfect night. It is amazing. But usually that only happens once in a blue moon. Usually I wake up 4 or 5 times with really bad heartburn, acid reflux, or I feel like my food's just about to shoot out of my mouth, and it doesn't hurt, but it just feels like I'm about to throw up everywhere. And I'll get up 3 or 4 times or 5 times for that to go get some milk to try to calm it down, and then I'll wake up 2 to 3 times to go to the bathroom. So, and then I probably get like 2 hours of sleep. So that's a really bad night's sleep. Or if I have like my restless leg problem, that really gets me if I have that before I go to bed, because my leg just wants to like spaz out and kick and all that stuff, and it's not comfortable at all. So those are really, and that is most nights. So pretty much my doctor's like, oh, that's normal, but I want to bump you from having Pepcid to Prevacid, which is half a dose of a prescription strength that she wants to try next time if this doesn't work. So I need to pick that up and see how that does. But yeah, my heartburn's gotten a lot worse the past few weeks. So I mentioned that she started cooking more this week, and one thing that has been kind of sad is that Garrett, when she starts to kick, I don't want to bother him because I know it hurts his feelings when he puts his hand on there and he can't feel her. Because sometimes she'll just do one kick, and then when she feels a hand go on my stomach, then she'll just stop and won't move at all. So that's been kind of hard, but lately she's been kicking more than usual. And when you put your hand in a certain spot or push in a certain, like when you put your hand where she's kicking or push where she's kicking, she kicks even harder back. So that's telling me she's running out of room, but it's also been great because Garrett's been able to feel her kick quite a few times, and he's been able to see her kick in my stomach, like actually see my stomach move, and he hasn't been able to see that before. So that was really amazing to experience that with him finally. So there's that. Weight gain, I'm not sure. I've kind of lost track of how much weight I've gained, because my scale at home is completely different than the scale at the hospital or the doctor's office. So I'm still gaining 1 pound a week, so I'm still on that track, which is good. Last visit, me and Garrett saw somewhere where we started talking about delayed blood cord clamping. It's kind of hard to say. And a lot of people suggest that you leave the blood cord or the umbilical cord connected to the baby and you for at least 3 minutes or until like it stops pumping blood or stops pulsing, which sounds so gross, but before you cut it. Some people say it's really good to not clamp it or cut it before it stops pumping, because the baby comes out into the world and is no longer in this cute little cocoon, and you're cutting its its life source, and it's being forced to do so much so quick, like it's boom, 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 boom. So some people say to wait 3 minutes or until it stops pumping blood through it to then cut it. And so I was kind of leaning towards getting the delayed blood cord clamping because so I don't know, I just thought it sounded like a good idea to just go ahead and keep it connected for 3 minutes and let the baby not be so stressed out. But talked to my doctor about it, and she said, well, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Sometimes it's like up in the air. If you clamp it too soon, some babies get anemic, and if you wait the full time and do the delayed clamping, then your baby will get jaundice and they'll have to spend a few nights under the blue lights. And so me and Garrett talked about it for a while, and we really want to avoid having to spend a few nights with our newborn baby under some lights. And so we decided not to do it. We're not doing that. And another thing too, I started getting these stabbing pains in my boob. And like I had it in this one, but that was when they were growing, and I feel like they haven't grown in a while. And so this one's been doing it for a little bit, for a few weeks now. And it just like, it's like, I just want to hold it like, you know, it does hurt. So I asked her, she said, yeah, that's just your, as long as there's no lumps or anything, it's probably just your milk ducts growing and getting ready for having the baby. Because she said whenever there is a release, whenever you do start breastfeeding, there are some stabbing pains in the breast. I don't remember why she said it, but she said it's normal. So if you're having that problem, it's normal. Just make sure there's no lumps in your chest. So also the past 2 weeks, whenever I can, I've been forcing myself in bed rest, and I think I'm going to do that for the remainder of my pregnancy because, well, I've really been doing that for the past month or so. If I do too much, then I'm down for 3 or 4 days, and I just really want to be careful and not stress her out at all. Just sitting up in bed and have my feet elevated, and that's how I do my work, and I just sit there, relax, and get things done that way. So another thing too is that the last symptom that I can think of, I've been getting acne in the strangest places. Like I've never gotten acne right here, and I've never gotten acne on the side of my neck before. So I had a cluster right here. Those have gone down, they're more of a scar. But then I had some really nasty ones right here, and they're just all around the back of my neck and my shoulders, and it's so strange. I've never broken out like that before. But hormones, what you gonna do? And speaking of skin conditions, this I actually have quite a few stretch marks now. Like I had 4. I had 4 stretch marks, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the first trip we went to Fort Lauderdale, I had like 5 pop out on this side right beside my belly button, or like a few inches beside my belly button. And then yesterday, the same amount on the other side of my belly button. I was like, no! Because the whole time in the trips, the stretch marks that I have currently were stretching and pulling, and they really started to hurt and sting a little bit. I was like, oh my god, is my stomach going to split open? What's going to happen? Like, why is it not making stretch marks anywhere else? Because those 3 in the front have gotten quite thick, and I was pretty worried about it for a little while. But anyway, so that's all I can think of to tell you about the past 2 weeks. And I know this video is going to be ridiculously long because I feel like I've been talking for an hour, but let's see how big baby is. So on the Ovia app, okay, so this right here is now the size of my baby's hand. Isn't that so cute? Like, isn't that so cute? I remember whenever it showed at 24 weeks, that was the first time it showed it, and when I put my pinky there, it like completely disappeared. And now she can definitely grab my pinky. It's so cute. She might be close to 17.5 inches tall and the size of a head of lettuce and weighs over 3.5 pounds. Though she still could grow 3 to 5 more pounds in the coming weeks. That's just so crazy. Like, my stomach already feels so big, which I've been saying that for a while, so I'm just not even going to say it because you've probably seen my other vlogs if you're watching this. So pretty much the rest it talks about is about preterm labor, and if you start feeling multiple contractions or whatever, call your doctor. Talking about crowding the lungs. So yeah, baby's doing very, very well. So it's crazy from going to 2.9 pounds and like 16-ish inches to where it is now. That's just insane to me. So yeah, since this video is ridiculously long, that's all I'm going to say from the apps. But I just am so excited to meet her. I cannot wait, and to feel her kick again as much as she has been and be able to watch it. It's been really, really nice, and I really do appreciate feeling her kicks again, because just having 1 week without them freaked me out. But then I feel like I'm in tune with my body where I know nothing's really wrong, like my instincts. So I never called my doctor about it, and I never made a big deal about it. I just like, no, you just need to lay down and rest and do what's right for us. And what I feel like in my mind, instead of going off the handle and running to the emergency room. There was a slight thought about it whenever I was throwing up and I couldn't get any sleep and I just did not feel well. Thought about it, but I was like, no, I'm going to be fine. I just need to rest. So anyways, guys, that was a really, 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 really long video, but I want to go ahead and show you the 30-week bump. So here it is, guys. 30-week bump. Can you believe? She's getting so big, and I feel like she's pretty high up. Like, I don't know. I just feel like a lot of movement right here. Mostly, but I feel it everywhere, to be honest. But there she is. I just can't believe how big she is. How big I am. But yeah, so we're getting to the end, and I have my showers coming up in 3 weeks and all that fun stuff. But guys, I love y'all so much. If you're pregnant right now, my only advice is just use your instincts. If you feel like you should do something, do it. If you feel like you shouldn't do it, don't do it. I feel like that made no sense, so I'm just gonna forget what you just heard. But anyways, guys, I love y'all very, very much, and congratulations to mamas to be. And I'm so envious of the mothers already. I just cannot wait to meet her and get to know her little personality and all that fun stuff. But guys, I love you all, and I'll talk to you later. Bye. Guys, so I have a huge haul to share with you. I recently put aside a little bit of money, and me and Garrett decided that I haven't been shopping since I've been pregnant, and I need to treat myself